Google is looking to make the streets a bit safer by introducing a car that can drive by itself. So besides making money and cornering the auto industry market, Google is using the fact that they will be able to make the roads safer by implementing their self-driving vehicle. While there is no doubt that there are some immediate benefits from autonomous vehicles, let's take a look at some of the negative impacts that will arise from the production of self-driving cars. Number 1. Vehicle safety and cybersecurity concerns. While the physical act of driving may be taken out of the driver's hands, the self-driving cars now operate on a software system that can be easily hacked or remotely operated by any individual or organization. In 2018, there was a fatal accident that occurred by one of Uber's self-driving cars during a test drive. Shortly afterwards, a poll was conducted of the American populace, and the study stated that 73% of American drivers stated that they would be more afraid to ride in an autonomous vehicle. The second thing I'm going to talk about is the negative impact on the economy and the job market. So it's obvious that self-driving cars would eliminate driving jobs, but what other occupations that depend on drivers for their line of work would also be impacted? For example, a taxi cab or an Uber or Lyft drivers would be impacted, but then that would also mean that driver's ed instructors would also be out of jobs because nobody's going to be needing to learn to drive cars anymore. Police officers also don't have to ticket anybody for traffic violations or accidents, so that would put a lot of police officers, or the need for a lot of police officers, out of work as well. Which on first thought you might be saying, that's great. Police officers are not giving people tickets, they're not having to come to the scenes of accidents. That's wonderful. But let's take this a step further. If police officers are not coming to the scene of auto accidents, then that would mean insurance companies don't need as many insurance adjusters to adjust those auto accidents and to appraise the damages to individuals' vehicles. Which on first thought is a good thing. You don't have police officers ticketing people and having to pull up for accidents. But let's take this a step further and really think about this. Insurance companies then no longer need insurance claims adjusters, managers, and even insurance agents to write policies and adjust claims if there aren't any accidents being taken place. Also, attorneys that are representing individuals from their auto accidents no longer have jobs because there aren't any accidents that people are getting into anymore. People aren't getting injured, so now they no longer need legal representation. But let's take another step forward into this reality and take note that doctors, nurses, and physicians that are needed to treat people after accidents are now no longer needed. Which this is good for the overall health of people, but it's bad for the overall economy and the quality of life for people. The driving industry would lose an estimated of 4,000 workers alone with the introduction of self-driving cars. And that's just the driving industry. So now we're talking about also the claims industry, the medical industry, and also the law enforcement and public service industries. Think about how many workers that they would lose as well. So unless we can come up with an alternative occupation, a lot of people are going to be out of work. One last thing on a lighter note would be the joy of driving would be taken away if self-driving vehicles are introduced into the public. Do you ever just get in your car and just ride down Main Street or just cruise around downtown? Well, with self-driving vehicles, you wouldn't be able to do that yourself physically. You'd be relying on a computer to drive you everywhere that you needed to go. So you actually putting your pedal to the metal and swerving in and out of traffic lanes, it's no longer an option. These are just some of the pros and cons that I can think of, but I want to hear from you. So start the discussion in the comment section below. If you liked the video, share it with a friend, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for allowing the Insurance Quotient to keep you informed.